Good evening, this is BelGeode and we are back with some DCS World, Digital Combat Simulator 1.5. Woohoo! As you can see, this is the brand new L-39 Albatros, so we're going to hop right in there. I want to get this bird started. If you've been a long time watcher of my channel, then I'm pretty sure you've seen my Microsoft Flight Simulator series, and when I started that series it was in this plane. Of course, back then I was using the Lotus Simulations L-39, which is a really awesome L-39 for FSX. Faithfully reproduced. Excellent plane. And as I'm looking around here in the DCS version of the Albatros, I am seeing a lot of familiar things. Everything is just flooding back to me here. I'm absolutely loving this. Wow. Of course, this being DCS, I know it's going to be a little bit more realistic than the Lotus Sims one was, because of course FSX does have its limitations. But I am just dying to try this thing out just to see if it actually flies the same way as the one at FSX does. So with that in mind, we're going to look around here. We want to see the back seater here, so let me just switch that. Okay. Yeah, definitely looks like I expected the back seater would look. Hell, where in the hell is Allie when I need her? Oh, I'm loving this. I really wish you could see the look on my face right now. This is just awesome. This is truly freaking awesome. There's even some stuff that I don't see in the FSX version, like that little coily wire there. That's not in the FSX version at all. But that is so cool. Alright, let's switch it back to the front. Let's see if we can get this bird started. Now, I have not done any of the tutorials or anything like that. I haven't tried out any of the combat. This is literally my first time in this plane. And we're going to see if I remember how to start this sucker. Alright, so the first thing is going to be the oxygen supply valve. I know I'm going to want to have that open. I don't quite recognize these switches just to the right of that. I know the fuel shut-off lever. We've got that where it needs to be. Emergency oxygen, diluter demand switch, helmet ventilation switch. Okay, I'll have to read up on those and see what those do. But for now, we'll leave them alone because we've got the main oxygen on. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is start flipping some switches here. Let's start with that, the battery switch. I know I need that. Reserve generator, we'll probably put that on. Engine switch, yeah, we'll go ahead and flip that on. We'll get the rest of this stuff up and running. This is all for like the avionics and whatnot. So we're going to want to get all of those on. And I'm going to save the main generator switch until after the engine has been started. If I remember correctly, that's how I did it with the Lotus Sims version. So we're going to continue that trend here. Okay, nav lights. Yep, we're definitely going to want to have some kind of lights on here. Okay, put that in the center for now. I'm thinking that's a three-way switch. SDU switch, we'll throw that on. Air conditioning, we'll keep that in the center for now. I'll set that afterwards once we have the canopy closed and all that good jazz there. Okay, and my flaps. Okay, let's go ahead and start the Saphir turbine engine starter here. I'm looking for my panel lights check. Usually it's in the bottom, but I don't see it there. I think that... No, that's resetting the wrong thing there. So I'm guessing it is in a slightly different position. I'll have to see if I can locate it. We are going to turn the radar altimeter down to 0. That will shut it up there. Okay, so here is the outside view. As you can see, the labels are on. Everything is default. I have not added my label mods or anything. So you can see it says BelGeode under there. I'm going to be getting rid of that because I don't like the red labels. But there is the plane. Oh, such a beautiful bird. I can't tell you just how much in love I am with this aircraft, both in real life and in the flight simulators that I play. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of the labels. I remember how to do that. That's Shift F10, left Shift F10, by the way. Okay, do we have the turbine starter on yet? No, let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, close the cap there. Okay, so we're waiting for the yellow light on the right side panel there, the annunciator panel. As soon as that light comes on, there it is. Now we can start the actual engine. You can hear that. Listen to that. That's like a built-in APU there. I love that. Ah, such a beautiful sound. They have outdone themselves. Eagle Dynamics, you have truly outdone yourselves with this. Alright, we're going to want to get the throttle to idle. Okay, we are good to go. And we'll start the engine. Here we go. Just a push of the button, we'll put the cap back on. And now we're going to watch that gauge, the top row to the right there. I'm going to zoom right into it so that way you can see it better. First stage, second stage, or N1, N2. We're going to want to get all of that up here. Everything else is firing up. Okay, and while we're at it, we'll turn the generator on. Looking good. So most of those lights should extinguish. The canopy light, of course, will be on because the canopy is still open, and the air conditioning light will still be flashing because I haven't turned that on yet. Alright, but it looks like the engine's up and running. Everything's looking in the green to me there. So yeah, for its very first engine start, we are a go. Look at that. Oh, listen to that sound. That is just so freaking cool. I thought that the FSX version of this aircraft was really good, but I hate to say it, but I think DCS has outdone them. Alright. We are locked in. I think we are good to go. Let me take another look in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and put on the pressurization. It's a rotary dial, but it's like a throw switch. So I don't know what I got to do. If I got to like click that again, make sure it's in place. It looks good. We'll work with it. Alright, and I believe I need to slide this closed. There we go. So now the only thing we need to do is get the AC up and running. So that's one of those three-way toggles or four-way toggles. There we go. We'll set it to cool. Yeah, I think that's cool. Give it a second. There it is. Alright. So I don't know about you folks, but I am ready and raring to go on this sucker. I'm not even going to worry about the gun sight or any of that other stuff because honestly, I'm really going to need to sit down and learn how to do the combat in this aircraft. But just for flying around, which is exactly what we're going to do for this, I think we're ready to go. There's just one more thing I want to do. I got to do a run-up. I just have to do a run-up. Alright, so here we go. We got the brakes down. We're going to pull the throttles up. And we'll see some smoke coming out in a sec here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. They've got the smoke and the heat shiver. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. This is great. This is great. And my flaps are in the correct position. Excellent. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. And in case you haven't figured, I am at Sochi Adler Airport, which is actually one of my favorite airports here in DCS. I haven't even gotten the radio on. We're just going to fly without the radio. We're not getting any clearance, nothing. We're just going to take off and go because honestly, it's just me in this entire world. This is a mission that I just created, like on the fly, just to test out the L-39 Albatros. No enemies, no friendlies, no ground troops, nothing. Just me and all the airports that I care to land at, which of course will only be this one. Alright, so if you are new to the L-39 Albatros, this thing has differential braking. If you want to turn, you will be using your rudder and your brakes. Just like this. See, all them months of my playing around in this sucker in FSX are paying off. I remember how to steer this sucker on the ground. Which is a hell of a lot better than I was doing with the Su-25, if you watched that video that I put up last night. Alright, now I know which runway I want to take off from, so we're just going to head down here. We'll pass the catty corner runway there, and then we'll get to the correct runway. Give it a little bit of speed here. I love the sounds that they've added to this. This is just so cool. This is like an extra dimension here. I can't even tell you just how awesome this feels for me to be doing this. Wow, I've waited so long it seems for DCS World to come out with this, and now that it's here, oh yeah, I am loving every second. It's got a little bit of bounce to it. You can tell the suspension's good. Alright, there's the crosswind runway. We'll look over this way here. Yep. Now, if only I could get my webcam to work, I can have the face track no IR set up, but honestly, I've got it set to the mouse right now, so the mouse is moving around my camera. That'll do for this short trip. Look at the trees on the other side of the airport. Damn, that's like a night and day difference from DCS 1.0. Not to mention, I was flying around FSX at this airport, and yeah, there's just no comparison at all. Alright, let's make sure we are set. Flaps are in the correct position. Zoom out just a touch so I can see the world around me. My little co-pilot back there, or I guess training pilot. Trainer, would that be? I guess, I don't know. He's good. Everything's looking good. This plane's looking good. And damn, I can't contain my excitement anymore. Come on, let us go. Let's give it a little bit of gas here. Ah, that run up. That run up though. That run up though. Oh. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing somewhat centered. It's me, so you know I'm not directly going to be on a center line. I'm always off somehow, some way. No matter how hard I try, I can't get the stupid thing on a center line. It doesn't matter what plane I'm in. Alright, that's good enough for me. I'm going straight. That'll work. That will work. So let's get one final look at everything here. Oxygen's on, everything looks good, flaps are in the right position, gears down. Okay, everything, all the switches are thrown that need to be thrown. Alright. We'll flick that on there. Oh, that's for the radio. Never mind. I'm not even going to worry about the radio. I'll deal with the radio another time when I'm actually doing a mission here, or if I decide to video record the training missions, the official training missions. Other than that, yeah, we'll go ahead and flip the nav lights on. I think that's it for the lights panel there, so I don't think there's anything else I need. Yeah, we'll get that on there. No idea what that is. I'll have to look that up. RSBN lighting knob. Yeah, we'll turn that on. Why not? That's another rotary knob there. You can't see me actually rotating it because I've got the mouse cursor hidden. And looks like we got a full tank of gas. I'm liking this. Okay, let's do this, folks. Let's do this. My first flight in DCS World with the L-39 Albatros. Oh boy. Brakes down and throttles up. I like the little flashing light at the top too. That's kind of cool. Oh yeah, the heat shimmer is real. Let's do this thing. We are off like a prom dress. And already I'm starting to drift. Okay. At about 40 knots, my rudder should become active. There we go. Okay, we are already at rotation speed, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and do this. With this plane, it is extremely important that you do not take off with really steep angles. Gears coming up. I think my flaps controls are a little off. The flaps should be already up. No, it's in the bottom position. I didn't set that. Oh, I need to reset my controls on the Cytex, so we'll just manually click it. There we go. Okay, flaps are up, gears up, and we want to stay as level as we possibly can. We don't want to get into too steep of a climb. We want to build up enough airspeed before we take this bird up, up, and away. So now that we're over the hotels and all the other various stuff at the end of the airport, I'm assuming those are hotels, we're going to go over the Black Sea for a little bit here, and then I'm going to brake to the right, bring this sucker up to cloud level, and check out the clouds, because clouds are a huge thing for me. I love clouds. Look at that. So pretty. Now, one thing I will say is that I do notice she is a little bit sensitive, but I think that's partly my fault too, because I have not set up my joystick control. So there is no dead zone, and I haven't adjusted the curves. Oh, look at the water. Look at that water. Damn, Eagle Dynamics. Ugh. You've seriously done me some justice here. That is just freaking amazing. Wow. I love it. I love it. Alright, we're at what? I can't tell if that's calibrated in meters or if it's calibrated in feet. The altimeter I'm talking about here. I'm also staring at the water outside. This is just so cool. Okay, so we are airborne and we are well over about 400 kilometers per hour. Look at this bird. Look at that. Just look at that. That's just so awesome. Alright, there's that oil rig over there. I could buzz the oil rig, but you know what? I think I'm going to pass on that for now. I'll probably do that on my next run. For now, I want to pop into the clouds, because I want to see how they model the clouds this time. If it's similar to DCS 1.0, where when you fly through the clouds, everything is just totally obscured. I'm hoping they did that, but obviously if they didn't, well, we'll have to probably file a bug report and tell them, hey, something's wrong with the clouds, man. They're not cloudy enough. There's the oil rig that we visited before. I believe we were in the MI8 HIP. That was Socket 7's mission. So if you look up Socket 7's mission on my list of videos there, you'll see me flying in the middle of a huge storm out to that oil rig. Man, I love the effects that are in this too. You got the, I forget what they call that, where the light's kind of reflective off the sun. There's a word for it, but it's just escaping me right now. So yeah, there's the oil rig. Okay, there should be another one to the north. But I'm thinking, I'm not going to go too far. I might go to where that cloud is, pop through that cloud, and then head back. But first, it had to be done. Come on, it had to be done. You know you want to see that again. Let's do that from the outside. Why don't we? Here we go. Whee! I love it. L-39, such a graceful little plane. I will put it right out there in the universe right now. If there is anybody in the eastern United States, in particular close to the Pittsburgh area, who has one of these things, who would love to take me up, hit me up. I want to fly in this sucker. I want to have hands-on in this sucker. Seriously. Seriously. I will be the guy in the back seat right here, looking around like with drool coming down half my face like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm actually in an L-39 Albatros. Oh. Make it happen, universe. Make it happen. I would love to be here in real life. But this is as close as I can get with DCS, and I gotta say, this looks pretty damn sharp. We're not even up to DCS 2.0, and look at the graphics of this. This is pretty freaking sharp. I'm loving this. Now, if only I had an Oculus Rift, that would be like the next best thing. Alright, so we're back in the front seat here. And we still have not yet reached that cloud. I don't know why, because we're going well over 500 kilometers an hour here, so should be getting there at some point in time. It's not a very fast plane. I mean, it's not going to catch like a Tomcat or an Eagle, but for what it is, it's pretty damn good. I will say this. Now, I am probably going to be doing some liveries, or I guess most people call it liveries. I call it liveries. Don't correct me. I'm never going to change. I would like to do some liveries of this particular plane and put them up on DCS, but I'm going to hold off on that for now until I get an idea how the textures are laid out and so on and so forth, and see if it's compatible with my Photoshop and all that good stuff. I'm sure it will be. It's just going to take me a while to get that kind of stuff done. But if there's anything down the road that you can think of that you would love to see on this plane that no one else has made, then give me a call. Hit me up. I'll hook you up. Alright, we are going to fly through the cloud because I'm really curious to see what it is like to be inside the clouds in this thing. And we'll see what happens in a few. One thing I should caution you on, there is no autopilot in this aircraft. You may have noticed that if you've been watching my FSX videos. There's no autopilot in this sucker, so it's hands-on. I'm definitely going to need to set some dead zones and change the curves a little bit for my controls, because right now my joystick is just overly sensitive. I'm like barely touching this thing and it's already, you know, pushing up. Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm checking to see just how transparent these clouds are. Oh, I'm not totally obscured there. Oh, we just like passed through that cloud there. Okay, so yeah, they did make some changes on the modeling of the clouds, and it's not ideal. I'll give it that. It's not ideal. I kind of preferred it how it was with DCS 1. When you go in the cloud, you're in the cloud. You can't see crap. So yeah, I'm hoping that that will change, and maybe it's just because this is a really early beta. But be that as it may, now that we've had fun with clouds, I am going to bring her down to the deck and go down in the weeds with my hair on fire. I think we are close to the area of Tuops. I think that's how you pronounce it. Maybe it's Tuopsy, I don't know. Be that as it may, you see those hills over there? Yeah, that's my destination. So let's go ahead and bring it down. I have the throttle to idle. And we're just going to come down close to that bridge between Sochi and Tuops. There it is. There it is. You can see it off to the right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this river a little ways in, and then we're going to make a right. Come over this hill. I know there's like a little farmhouse on one of these hills here that I passed one time when I was flying around in the Mi-8 HIP. I don't know if I can find it again or if it's even duplicated in this version of DCS. I would assume it is. The map looks exactly the same as I remember it. Ah, look at them trees. Every single one of them damn trees has shadow. And here's the kicker, folks. My FPS is still upwards of 60. That's insane. The performance increase in this thing is just massive. They have made some serious gain, mofo. Damn, I am in love with it. I mean, every now and then it'll dip down at the most to 30 frames per second, but it's smooth as silk. It's smooth like butter. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of terrain following here. I'm sorry, I'm just like, I'm looking at everything here. This is just crazy. Love this moon up there. I saw that. Oh, man. Okay, I think we're probably going to go in between the notch of this hill here. So let me see if I can find it. The only thing I don't like about the L-39 is the fact that you got the gun sight up there, because it does obscure a whole hell of a lot. But, be that as it may, we're going to work with it. There's the moon right over my dash. Moon's over my hammy. Okay, I am going to choose one of these little mountain cuts here, and we're going to take it and go back out to the shoreline. Then we're going to follow the shoreline and make our way back to Sochi slowly but surely. This looks like a good area to follow, so this is what I'm going to do. Might have to go outside. There we go. Look at that. And it's in one of my favorite colors too, green. Of course, if you watch my FSX videos, you'll notice the one that I'm flying has purple in it, which is my other favorite color. But you know what? I don't even think I want to do that livery on this one. Oh, power lines. Yep, you might want to go with that. There we go. I still haven't had any definite confirmation as to whether or not trees are collidable I was planning on flying the Huey and seeing if I could smack into some trees, but it was just getting way too late and I was having way too much fun playing with this sucker. So I decided to just do this. Alright, so we are going down the coastline here. As soon as I see the airport, we're going to head inland a little bit. And then we'll overfly the airport before coming in for a landing. Like I said, quick, easy, just to get the basic idea of what this aircraft is capable of doing. But we're not going to really push the envelope just yet. We'll do that another time. Look at that town. I'm telling you, I was skeptical at first when they said that they were coming out with DCS 2.0, and when they said that 1.5 was coming out, I was like, okay, well, are we even going to get the decent graphics with 1.5? But no, this has won me over. This has seriously won me over. And now I'm going to show off a little bit here. Whee! Those yachts are still there. That's always fun. Let's see if we can see them here. Yep, there we go. We got some sailing yachts. Got the resort town of Sochi. Got the harbor, and there's that oil platform or oil rig. Beautiful. Just freaking beautiful. Never noticed those little containers before. Wow, that is so cool. Yep, definitely been there many a time. Virtually speaking, anyway. Alright, we'll do a quick roll. There we go. Alright. Okay, that I think right there is going to be our title shot. So I just took a picture there. Okay. Now, as I stated before, I want to go back in towards the mountains and come out by the airport. We'll overfly the airport. Maybe we'll overfly the crosswind runway because the angle that you would be flying there will allow you to make that turn around to come in for a landing. So yeah, that is my plan, man. And I hope you're enjoying watching this as much as I'm enjoying flying this, because let me tell you, this plane is like a dream for me. I would love to be able to fly this sucker in real life, and I will fly it as often as I can virtually. And I do notice my wingtip tanks are empty. Huh. Almost took me by surprise there. I notice it's now in green. The one in FSX is in blue. But yeah, that's definitely where the wingtip tanks are, and judging from my gas gauge, we're a little bit low. Just a little. Damn, that looks so good. All the way around it, it just looks so good. I think probably the only thing that's missing on that beach are waves crashing into the sand. If DCS can never put that in there, hell, that'll just be over the top. Alright, we still got plenty of gas. Obviously the wingtip tanks are empty, but we're going to be landing pretty soon anyway, so it's not going to be that critical. Now I'm thinking for my next video, I'm probably going to try pushing the envelope with this thing. I kind of have an idea of what I can and can't do. If you watched my air show video from FSX back in July, I definitely put this aircraft through its paces. I want to see if I can pretty much duplicate that with DCS World, so I might have to have one video where I'm just like showing off, doing all kinds of air show maneuvers and whatnot. It's got to happen. I mean, one of the liveries that they give you for this thing is an air show livery, so it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. All right, this is my turn right here. I'm gonna try and cut it a little sharp. I know she can handle it. We're going fast enough. Okay, and then we're going to overfly this runway, head out to sea, and then make a big, huge U-turn and come back in and land on the other runway, which is pretty much the same one we took off from. Got the revetments over there. Wow, such an awesome airport. If I'm ever privileged enough to visit Russia, this is definitely one of the places I would like to go, is Sochi. Preferably in the summertime, so it looks like this. I don't think I'd like to go in the winter. Sorry. I got enough winter here in the US. Alright, now I'm probably going to want to slow down a little bit here, so we're going to bring the throttles down. Another very important thing with this aircraft, if you are new to this aircraft, this thing has a 10-second spool up, which means when you increase the throttle, thinking you're going to have all kinds of speed, no. You got to wait 10 freaking seconds before the engines actually catch up with your throttle input. So which means you need to plan ahead when you're landing. You cannot afford to drop your throttle and keep it down all the time because you will run out of speed. And that's going to make your landing real interesting, ain't it? So I'm going to want to have it below 300 kilometers per hour before I actually put the flaps out. The gear can go down below 400 kilometers per hour, and I doubt I should damage them. Ideally, I want to keep it closer to 300. But we'll see how much airspeed I could lose here. Unfortunately, my speed brakes are not mapped to the new settings of this version of DCS, so I don't remember what the button is offhand. This is only my second time trying this thing. Okay. That looks to be good, so we'll go ahead and drop the gear. And we will make the gear our speed brakes. So there we go. As soon as that sucker goes below 300, then we're going to go ahead and drop the flaps. And since I'm obviously having problems with the controls on my joystick, I'll need to create like a whole new profile, I think. I've been using the Su-25 profile for this, so yeah, it needs its own profile. As much as I'm planning on flying this sucker. Okay, right about here is good, so we're going to want to drop flaps. That's stage 1 flaps, or takeoff flaps. Drop a little bit more airspeed, but I also have to be cognizant of the fact that I need to keep that engine speed up. You notice we're getting a little bit of buffet there? We're not exactly at stall speed. We can go down a little bit further before this sucker will stall, but we do not want to go below 200. Unless we are actually on final over the runway ready to touch down. So yeah, I want to keep it above 200. And I hope I don't lose too much. Okay, there's the airport, so we're good. I've done this approach so many times that I think I know this one by heart now. Alright, of course the last time I did it was in an F-15 Eagle. Okay, are we lined up yet? We're a little right. Okay, not a problem. I can just veer to the left a little. We'll do a little bit of side slipping. Speed is looking good. It's smack dab between 20 and 30, so we're at about 250 kilometers per hour. I want to keep the runway centered on my gun sight there. Yeah, right there looks good. Flaps are down full. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit of the wiggly wigglies there. And I can actually bring my throttle down a little bit. We don't want to go over 300. And you notice I'm kind of shallowing it out here. Like I'll dip down and then I'll bring it back up to kind of shallow it out. I don't want to get too much airspeed on the way down. It's a delicate ballet when you're in the L-39, from what I've experienced virtually anyway. Managing that power, managing your angle of attack, all of that good stuff. Which I guess the same could be said for just about any aircraft, but yeah, for this one in particular because of the limitations it's got. Alright, I think we're going to need to do one more outside check just to make sure that everything's looking good. There we go. Okay, we're good to go. Let's bring this bird home. Alright, and I'm going to flare. Throttle is now idle. Right about there. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, those lights should extinguish. Up there they go. And basically we'll just run this sucker all the way to the end. I don't even have my hands on the joystick here. I'm just like moving my camera around. Just run this sucker all the way to the end. We'll go to the caddy corner runway there, the crosswind runway, and we'll use that as our turn off instead of taking these tight-ass taxiways that the Russians insist on having at their airports. A little bit to the right, but hey, like I said, it's me. If the day ever comes when you see me running the entire way down the runway on the center line, yeah, something's wrong. Okay, and now that we're slow enough, I can probably get ready to start putting the flaps back up. Actually, you know what? No, I'll wait until we get to the crosswind runway before I do that. One thing that has really amazed me, I know I've been talking this entire time. Do you notice there is a significant difference in the sound level between the outside and the interior? This cockpit is really freaking quiet. I like that. Oh, here's my exit. I mean, listen to that. You can hear the noise, obviously. Watch what happens when I go back into the cockpit here. Or I shouldn't say watch, more like listen what happens. So much quieter. That is amazing. And from my understanding, the real plane is just like this. So yeah, Eagle Dynamics, you done did good. 2 thumbs up for this bird. 2 thumbs up. I can't wait to take it to multiplayer and carry some people around the place. Right now, the rear cockpit is working for multiplayer. You can actually have someone flying with you in there. However, as far as whether or not they can control the aircraft from the back like you can in real life, you cannot yet do that. DCS will let us know, or Eagle Dynamics will let us know once that is a thing. So yeah, you can carry your buddy around. You can show off your prowess with the L-39 Albatros like I intend to do this weekend. Oh, by the way, I am BelGeode on DCS World Multiplayer. No surprise there. So yeah, if you run into me, I'm probably going to be flying the Albatros, and I'll probably take you up and show you around. Not quite ready for combat yet. I want to go through the motions. I want to take my time with this thing, make sure that I've got everything down pat so I know all the subtle nuances of this aircraft that differ from FSX, because obviously that's the only experience I've had with this thing. Once I've got that level of confidence up, which shouldn't really take me too long, then we'll go ahead and do some combat in this sucker. But for now, I'm going to park this bad girl right here. Right about there should do the trick. Brakes! Perfect. Alright. And I think I'm going to call this one... We're going to call this one Svetlana. I like to name my vehicles. This vehicle is now Svetlana, officially. And I'll put a picture somewhere as soon as I figure out how the textures are laid out. Alright, but that should do it for us, folks. The only other thing to do, go ahead and open up ye old canopy. And we'll get ready to turn everything off. I just love that sound, though. I don't want to turn the engines off. I know I need to, but I love it. I love it so much. You just have no idea. Alright, let's go ahead and open up the canopy. We'll let the backseater out. We'll give the backseater some life a little bit later on. I mean, right now he's just kind of sitting there taking up space, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Or if I could figure out a way of getting Allie in there, yeah, that opens up a whole new ball game there. But I don't think you're all ready for that yet. Alright, engines are off. And we'll go ahead and flippy all the switchies. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed my first flight of the L-39 Albatros. Like I said, I can't tell you just how much I actually love this aircraft. If I could fly this sucker in real life, I most certainly would. If I could buy one in real life, I most certainly would. Let me turn the oxygen off here. Alright, there we go. Okay, I suppose I should probably let the backseater out. Yeah, probably a good idea. Otherwise, he's just going to be sitting there all day like, hello, remember me? Alright, buddy. We'll go ahead and unlatch you here. And let's see, canopy handle should be off to the left here. There it is. Clicky, clicky. Perfect. Okay. So that'll do it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to get a lot more videos that I do on the various different games and flight simulators that I play. I'll catch you on the next one. So, as always, have a great one. Ciao.